And so to begin by asking you, I know Philly Kid was shot before this whole like After Dark action kind of package thing came together.
Right.
But when you heard about it, what was your sort of reaction? What did you think? And obviously your father also has a film in this package. So how did you feel about that?
Well, the thing is, I worked with John Hyams before, and I worked on a movie called Universal Soldier Regeneration in Bulgaria with Peter Hyams' father too, who shot it. And it was a great experience, and he loved my acting. He said, I want to work with you again. So when he was signed for Dragon Eyes, he's like, I wrote this character, Sergeant Feldman, for you specifically. And it was an honor for me. I said, I'm more than down. Just give me the shoot date whenever you're ready, and I'll be there. Waited a few months, got a call from the producer, and he said, listen, this is when you go. You go, okay, I'm coming in. And I heard from the Philly Kid after, and I was like, oh, okay, that's actually really cool. We get to go in and shoot a movie a few months after Dragon Eyes, and called the Philly Kid, and why not? So John Hyams was saying to the producer, hey, look, Chris, maybe he could be this great character in Dragon Eyes, and I think maybe he's got a chance in the Philly Kid. And producer I spoke to also, and he's like, yeah, you know what? Let me talk to Jason Connery. Let's see what we can do. It's a small role, but
in Philly Kid or in Dragon Eyes?
In Philly Kid.
Okay.
It's a smaller role, and it's a cool character. It's like in the beginning with Wes and Devin, and just a really, really fun little piece that I got to do the last night of shooting for them for their rap party. Went on set, worked about I think 12 hours, non-stop, just awesome, and we had a blast, man. It was great, and it was cool doing a back-to-back After Dark production, and the people are great. The studio's great. It's very professional. Being independent movies, they're very professional, and I'd love to work with them again.
So you're actually in both. You're in Philly Kid and Dragon Eyes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Both films, and also the next Universal Soldier, only because my character is continuing off of the last one.
Right.
New Dimension, which I think would be part of that later. Maybe I spoke too soon, but it was great. Good experience altogether.
Excellent, excellent. Well, tell me a little bit about your character in both films, in Dragon Eyes and in Philly Kid.
Sure. Dragon Eyes, my character's name is Sergeant Feldman, and I play under Peter Weller, and forgot what his name was. The actor's such a good guy, but he played the character Sergeant Howe, and Peter Weller played Mr. V. So being part of the slime ball group was awesime.
So you're kind of Peter Weller. He plays the villain. You're sort of his right hand man.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
He's got Sergeant Howe, who's hey, New York style, and then you got me, who's kind of like the slime ball from Chicago, who's young, kind of maybe dropped out of high school. Went to the South because it's cheaper. There's a little combination here on the table stuff, and just kind of went with the snakes, and kind of matures. But the cool thing about my character is he's very clean shaven. His hair is combed almost too much.
Right.
Very greasy, and just kind of dumb. It's like no IQ. It's a cool character to play because you get to go all out with it. And it being a dark comedy makes it so much more fun to exaggerate your acting to a certain extent. But really cool character. He's like the snake from Jungle Book.
Okay,
Like Mr. Big Shot, and when you grab him, he's like, "Oh, please don't hurt me."
Was that sort of your inspiration?
That was I kind of was like, this is a good little mentor to study while doing this character. Yeah.
And then in Philly Kid, you just a small
role? Philly Kid was a smaller role, but I wish they had kept the full footage of the entire scene, which is about, I guess, 4 to 5 minutes long, but it was non-stop. It was a very good opening scene. Jason Connery's a great director, as good as John Hyams, and they're all in a different way. I don't want to compare. They're both fantastic, solid directors. But, it was a small role. It was just in the beginning, and what's cool is that my character has an effect on Wes and Devin throughout the movie for a certain reason. And I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah,
but,
of course.
It's very, very, very cool. Very cool character. But I wish they had kept, I guess, the distance of the movie. They had to cut down that scene, because all the other scenes are very important.
Right. Now, do you get to do any fighting in either movie?
Not in Dragon Eyes, and not really in Philly Kid. It's more like, your everyday type of character kid. Wes is more like the fighter, which we wanted to kind of leave that.
Right.
But my kid plays, it's kind of like, like those kids from Louisiana who don't go to high school, kind of smoke pot every day, walk around. The tank top, the open loose shirt.
Right.
Again, another, I don't want to say moron, but another not well-educated person.
Right.
I don't want to say these bad words, so excuse me for that. You can delete that part. But other than that, cool movies, man. Great experience. I love it.
Yeah, and then did you share any scenes with your dad in Dragon Eyes?
Let me think now. I don't think so. Which I kind of like, because
Because you've worked with him before.
Many times.
Yeah.
And I still have a few projects with him as well, and the projects are getting better, which is cool. But it's, you know, I do it for experience, you know, and a lot of people say I should go on my own. It's tough. It's not easy. I do the auditioning process as much.
Sure.
I'm actually in 2 auditions now, and I got a few callbacks, and I'm just waiting to turn this thing off. Okay. I'm waiting to have another callback, and it's just tedious. It's, you know, it's a lot of work. You go in, you have like 4 to 5 auditions a week. You gotta memorize everything. You gotta jump from one. You gotta get on the bike and then drive around LA and go crazy.
Right.
But it's fun though. We love what we do.
Yeah.
When you love what you do, there's no limit. There's no, like, something just keeps on carrying you. You know.
Yeah.
And eventually, I'll have my big break, like we say, my you know, establishing role, and we'll see. You know, we'll see how it goes. But acting's always been in here.
That positive attitude that you exude,
yeah,
I can tell that positive attitude just from talking to you. Do you get that from your dad? Did you, or is there any sort of when you decided to, you know, sort of, for lack of a better term, go in the family business?
Yeah.
Did he give you any advice, and did he discourage you or encourage you? Or
God, no discouragement at all. Actually, he was for me being an actor. He said, you must, you know, you must. He said, do whatever you want in life. Be happy. That's the most important.
Right.
If you want to be a gardener, be a gardener. Tending to plants is as beautiful as acting. It's a care. It's a love. He never discouraged me. Everything I wanted to do, he was there behind me. But he gave me his opinion. He said, look, acting is something that's good for you. It's in the family business. People are going to want to see you act. They're going to want to know what you can do. They want to know if you can kick like me. So we studied martial arts since I was 5, all the way till now. And, you know, just keeping that honest morale, that really hard-working confidence, like you mentioned, which is important because my father came here with nothing. $3,000 in his pocket. He slept in cars for 6 years, met my mother. I actually saw her in a magazine in Belgium and said, I'm going to marry this lady, and they thought he was crazy. Came here, met Chuck Norris, trained him, stretched him for a bit, found my mother in Cabo San Lucas, did a photo shoot, they got together. Oh man, it was like 6 years of just... And finally I was born, 87, and Bloodsport was a huge hit. The timing was just beautiful. And then just, you know, started from there. But he raised me very well with my mother. Even my grandparents too. I grew up in Belgium for the first 5 years of my life so I could be healthier when I come back, and, you know, pollution and stuff. Mentality also. European mentality has... I love all countries. I'm not racist at all. I'm very equal. I love everybody. But the European mentality was good for me to be raised, especially to live in LA, you know, because here it's so like, I know the sons of and the daughters of who live here, it's very easy for them, you know. I've met many of them, and they're just very, you know, hey, tomorrow my father will buy me, you know, this, and I'll just go here, and we'll party, and we'll smoke, and we'll drink, and I have no time for that. I'm a machine that's working, and I don't have time to go out and just, you know, widdly diddly Shia LaBeouf fight in a bar. He's my idol. I drive by his house almost all the time. You know, because I'm it's like I'm like stalker almost.
Right.
But I just drive by and go one day, just to keep the motivation up. You know, it's just really. I love this business. I really do, and I love this city, and I'm ready for it whenever it has to throw me anything.
Excellent. So, well, and you mentioned another Universal Soldier. Is that what's next for you? Is that?
Yeah, I just finished that.
Okay.
I'm jumping into another movie now, with directed by Peter Hyams, actually the father, and he also said, you know, he'd like me to play this character because my acting again was very professional from both movies, and he'd like me to work as one of the characters in this. It'd be a lot of fun, you know. It's cool. It's going to be shot in Eastern Europe, so we'll see, for a good budget, and I think maybe we'll see theatrical release or not. Selected theaters, we'll see. But again, great people. Cool role.
Now, is your dad in that? Does he do?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
You know, I'm not sure. All I know is that I had an interview. They said, okay, maybe he is. If not, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, it's.
Now, did you do 6 Bullets with him as well? Was
yeah.
That coming? Okay. Cool.
It's just a family thing. We're just gonna be in every movie.
No, I think that's great.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, you know, a lot of people, you know, they criticize, you know, on TMZ and all that stuff. You know, he's the son of. It's easy. Yeah, it's just words. Who cares? It's opinions, you know, people judge too fast.
Is it fun working with him?
Oh, it's great. It's actually the best training. That's why I love to do it, because us having the same genetics, it helps him teach me easier. You know, it's just kind of, he goes, you need to do it like this, and I go, got it right away, because we think the same.
Right.
And speaking of, we saw some footage, you know, we saw some dailies one time, we were shooting on 6 Bullets, and we're walking together in a scene because I play his son in the movie, and we both put our hands in the pockets and the shoulder shrug and say that. I'm like, oh my god, same walk, same everything, and it's just so funny. But it's cool.
Yeah.
You know, it's really cool.
Yeah, no, that's great. Well, and then finally, I just wanted to ask you, we're all excited about Expendables 2 coming out this summer. Have you seen anything from it? Has he told you anything about? Did he try to get you in it? Did he say, Sly, you got to put Chris in this?
That's the thing is that, Hemmingsworth's character.
Right.
There was a rumor, I think from what I understood, that they were thinking about having me inside. But I guess, he's a star. Sure. You need a star list.
They knew the Hunger Games was coming. And
I guess,
that.
I'm sure. Yeah. And it's okay. It's no problem. For me, it would have been a great opportunity. I would have loved working with them. Yeah. It would have been great. But no matter what, when I see my father on a billboard going to the theaters, it's as if I've made it for me. Because he's my hero, He always has been, always will be. But
and to see him with Sly and Dolph so cool. and so cool. Chuck Norris, this is going to be really great.
It's going to be a killer movie.
Yeah,
it's going to be a great movie. Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. But his acting is just, he's become a movie star.
Yeah, well, he always was. Absolutely. Hey, Chris, thank you so much.
Thank you.